Hare Krishna. So, welcome dear devotees to the morning discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we are reading from 6th canto, 1st chapter, verse number 11, and the verse is in front of us. Before we begin, it is Shishta Parampara to perform Mangalacharan, auspicious invocations. So I'll very quickly perform Mangalacharan. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. चैव नरोत्तमम्
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्य उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणम् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Reading from Granth Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, Text 11. Shri
श्रीबादरायणेरुवाच कर्मणा कर्मनिर्हारो न यात्यन्तिक इष्यते अविद्वदधिकारित्वात् प्रायश्चित्तं विमर्शनम्
श्रीबादरायणी उवाच
Sukadeva Goswami,
son of Vyasadeva,
replied,
Karmana, by fruitive activities, Karma nirharaha, counteraction of fruitive activities, not, he, indeed, Atyantikah, final, Ishyate, becomes possible, Avidvat adhikaritvat, from being without knowledge, Prayaschittam, real atonement, Vimarshanam, full knowledge of Vedanta. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace by Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Shukadeva Goswami, the son of Vedavyas, answered, My dear king, since acts meant to neutralize impious actions are also fruitive, they will not release one from the tendency to act fruitively. Persons who subject themselves to the rules and regulations of atonement are not at all intelligent. Indeed, they are in the mode of darkness. Unless one is freed from the mode of ignorance, trying to counteract one action through another is useless, because this will not uproot one's desires. Thus, even though one may superficially seem pious, he will undoubtedly be prone to act impiously. Therefore, real atonement is enlightenment in perfect knowledge, Vedanta, by which one understands the supreme absolute truth. Purport. The Guru, Shukadeva Goswami, has examined Parikshit Maharaj, and it appears that the king has passed one phase of the examination by rejecting the process of atonement because it involves fruitive activities. Now Shukadeva Goswami is suggesting the platform of speculative knowledge. Progressing from Karma Kand to Jnana Kand, he is proposing Prayaschittam Vimarshanam. Real atonement is full knowledge. Vimarshan refers to the cultivation of speculative knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita, karmis who are lacking in knowledge are compared to asses. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Namam dushkrutino mudha prapadyante naranamam maya bhakta jnana asuram bhavashitaha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons do not surrender. Thus, karmis who engage in sinful acts and who do not know the true objective of life are called wooden asses. Immersion, however, is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, Vedaischa sarvai rameva vedyam understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one studies Vedanta but merely advances somewhat in speculative knowledge and does not understand the Supreme Lord, one remains the same Buddha. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7:19, one attains real knowledge when he understands Krishna and surrenders unto him. Bahunam janmanam te jnanavan mam prapadyate. To become learned and free from material contamination, therefore, one should try to understand Krishna, for thus one is immediately liberated from all pious and impious activities and their reactions. Ukam karoti vachalam pangum labdete giriv yat kripam tamaham vande Shri Gurun Dinataram Paramanandam Shri Krishna. Dear devotees, this particular chapter is entitled The History of Life of Ajamil. The sixth canto begins, and the sixth canto is about Poshan. Poshan is nourishment by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This entire canto is centered around the topic of Poshan. Poshan refers to nourishment by Bhagavan, how Bhagavan is willing to nourish the living entities who are inclined towards him. So this is the entire subject matter of this particular canto, so in one particular word. Now, at the end of the fifth canto, Maharaj Parikshit has heard about the various hellish planets. And after hearing about the various hellish planets, Maharaj Parikshit starts inquiring that Shukadeva Goswami, you described the entire universe in the fifth canto. And the entire universe as situated in the body of Purush, the Supreme Lord, you described. And now at the end of the fifth canto, you described what was situated in the lowest part of the universe, lowest part of the body of the Purush, that is hellish planets. Although Shukadeva Goswami, they are situated in the lowest part, although they are within the body of the Purush, the Supreme Lord, still hellish planets are not at all worthy of, I don't feel any happiness in hearing of these hellish planets, although they are situated within the body of the Lord. So, Shukadeva Goswami, please tell me how one can become free of the sinful activities by which one will never have to attain the hellish planets. So, this subject matter begins in the sixth canto. And then Shukadeva Goswami starts giving solutions. The first solution he gives is Prayaschitta. Does anybody know what is the meaning of Prayaschitta? Atonement. Atonement should be performed, Parikshit, so that you can get rid of any sinful reactions that you may have accumulated. So dear devotees, this is called as Prayaschitta, atonement. Now dear devotees, example of Prayaschitta is Shwado Gangam Gusamsevya Masena Puto Bhavit. Shwado, accidentally one happened to eat the meat of dog. It's called Shwad. Shwa, not Swad. Shwad. Shwad. Shwado Gangam Gusamsevya. For 1 month he should drink only the water of Ganga. After 1 month he will become purified. Dear devotees, this is known as Prayaschitta. What is it known as? Prayaschitta. Similarly, there are many Prayaschittas, many atonements prescribed in Shastra for those who have acted in sinful manners. Shastra defines what are patakas, what are sins, what are mahapatakas, what are great sins, what are laghu patakas, what are small sins. All patakas are defined in Shastra, and according to the patakas, according to the sins that one has performed, there is Prayaschitta or atonement suggested. This is called as Karma Prayaschitta. What is it known as?
Karma Prayaschitta.
Shukadeva Goswami suggested Karma Prayaschitta, but Parikshit Maharaj is not happy. He is not happy at all. Because Parikshit Maharaj says, you can't uproot karma, one karma by another karma. And you may be able to remove the sinful reaction, but the tendency to commit the action again is still present within the living entity. Therefore, even though one may become free of any particular sinful reaction, the tendency to commit that action again will still remain. For example, a person is addicted to smoking cigarettes. Then he goes to Haridwar and takes a bath in Ganga for 1 month. Account clear, right? Then he comes back to the city. Still the tendency to smoke cigarettes is there. After some time his heart will become weak and he will go and purchase a big pack of cigarettes from the superstore and come home and smoke. So dear devotees, this is karma. Then Sri Badarayana Uvacha, yes, Shukdev Goswami said, Karmana karma nirharo nahi atyantika ishyate. Yes, you are correct. Pariharati, Sridhar Swami says, yes, he removes karma prayaschit as the option. Pariharati, he removes the first option that he has suggested. But Shukdev Goswami, why are you giving the option if you want to remove it later? So disciples' test is going on, dear devotees. I hope you are able to understand. The test of the disciple is going on. The disciple is being tested to see what level of adhikar, what level of eligibility the disciple is currently on. So Parihariti, option 1 removed in this verse. Sri Shukdev Goswami is saying, Karmana kripshradi prayaschittena. Through prayaschitta such as kripsravat, Santapan Vrat, Chandrayana Vrat, many other vratas are there, many prayashchittas are there. Is Chandrayana Vrat. Has anybody heard of Chandrayana Vrat? Chandrayana Vrat is one. Can you tell what is Chandrayana?
I don't know proper details, Prabhu. I don't want to be wrong, but it's like you have to fast for a major time till the time next day the same thing.
Yeah. So Chandrayana Vrat continues from new moon to new moon. Alright? From what? New moon to new moon. New moon day, which is called as Pratipat. Pratipat is new moon day. Pratipat is day 1. And day 1 you are supposed to eat only one morsel of rice. As big of a morsel you can make in your palm. Only that morsel of rice you prepare. On a new moon day you are supposed to eat how many morsels of rice?
1.
On the second day you are supposed to eat 2. On the third day you are supposed to eat 3. On the fourth day you are supposed to eat 4. That way continue all the way till 15th day. Yes.
By morsel you mean grain?
No, morsel. How much you can make in your hand.
Okay.
Alright? That is called one morsel. And no cheating. You don't make this morsel. One morsel means as much you can make in one palm is called one morsel. In Hindi we call ek cover banana. And one morsel as much as you can have on the first day. Second day 2 morsels. Third day 3 morsels. 15th day how many morsels? 15 morsels. And again reduce all the way going back to 1. I hope you are able to understand. This vrata is known as which vrata?
Chandrayana.
This Chandrayana Vrat is one of the austerities, prayaschitta, atonement suggested in Shastra for one who wants to get rid of Mahapatak. The sin of even killing a Brahmana, etc. is nullified by Chandrayana Vrat. So don't try alone, alright? Now, Kripsradi prayaschittena, by performing such prayaschitta, karmana papasya nirharo nasha atyantika samulo nahi ishyate. So, Sridhar Swami says, by such karma, the destruction of papa does not happen, the destruction of sins does not happen atyantika, to the most complete degree. It happens. The immediate sin is removed, but the tendency to commit sin is not removed. Then why does Shastra give prayaschitta? Why do scriptures prescribe prayaschitta? The reason is given avidvad adhikaritvat. What is the meaning? Avidvan adhikari. The person who is avidvan doesn't have better knowledge. For them, tasya bhavas tattvam tasmat. For them, it is prescribed. Not for the intelligent one. Ato avidyaya nasha bhavan nashtepi tasmin pape tat sanskarena papantarasya punah prarahutta bhavati eva. Ato, therefore, nashtepi tasmin pape, even if the sin is destroyed, tat samskarena, still the samskar, the tendency to commit sins remains. Papantarasya punah praraha bhavati, another sin arises after some time. Kim tarhi mukhyam prayashchittam, then what is the main prayashchitta? Tad aha, in replies to say prayashchittam to vimarshanam. Prayashchitta is actually vimarsha, jnana. Now after karma prayashchit, he is suggesting which prayashchit? Jnana prayashchit. So jnana prayashchit is being suggested. And Sridhar Swami says jnanam. Jnana is the prayashchit being suggested here. So dear devotees, those who came yesterday, I explained what is jnana. What is the meaning of jnana?
Knowledge.
Which knowledge? Knowledge of engineering?
Brahman
knowledge?
knowledge.
What?
Brahman knowledge.
Knowledge of the impersonal Brahman is known as what?
Yeah.
So because just knowledge means knowledge of what? Knowledge of how the world works. That is not Gyan. Knowledge of the impersonal Brahman is known as Gyan. So Shukadeva Goswami suggests you should study Vedanta and acquire knowledge of the impersonal Brahman.
Prabhu, like mentioned, when you drink Ganga water for a month, your sins get kind of removed. Pitama Vishnu was in that sun, still he had to face the consequences of his past karmic transactions.
Yeah, even if you are Yamraj, even anybody who are, if you are in Manushya Loka, you might be Ganga's son, but if you are in Manushya Loka, Karmanubandhi, Manushya Loka, so that will be applicable. There is no doubt about that. Alright, so now Shukadeva Goswami is suggesting Vedanta. Now, at this point of time, Parikshit Maharaj's second test has begun. And Parikshit Maharaj is going to become dissatisfied with the answer of Shukadeva Goswami. Now, in this particular chapter, by suggesting all the solutions, finally he will come to Bhakti as the solution. So, this is what is going to be prescribed. See here, 6.1.11 is about Gyan Prayashchit. The verse we are discussing is which Prayashchit?
Gyan Prayashchit.
Now, after Gyan Prayashchit, then he will come to Ashtanga Yoga Prayashchit. Tapasa Brahmacharyena Shamena Cha Damena Cha. What is tapasa, dear devotees? Brahmacharya, celibacy. Shamena Damena, control of senses, etc. Parikshit Maharaj is still not happy. Finally, in the next verse, he will say, this is where Parikshit Maharaj will become happy. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya
Kechit kevalaya bhaktya
Vasudeva parayana
Vasudeva parayana
Abham dhunmanti katsnena
Alam Nurmanti Katsena
Niharamiva bhaskara
Niharamiva Bhaskara
Kechit, only the rare person. Kevalaya bhaktya, only by executing what?
Bhakti.
Vasudeva parayana, and by fully becoming dedicated to Bhagavan Vasudeva. Agham dhunvanti, they completely wash out all their sins and the tendency. Also, katsnena, thoroughly, completely. Niharamiva bhaskara, just as the sun, simply by arising, immediately destroys darkness thoroughly and completely. So, this is what it is. Prabhu, can you read the translation?
Only a rare person who has adopted complete unallied devotional service to Krishna can approve the deeds of sinful actions with no possibility that they will be right. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays.
This, dear devotees, is the solution by which Parikshit Maharaj is going to get
Happy.
happy. Dear devotees, then Shukadeva Goswami is going to speak the history of somebody who got freed by Bhakti Prayashchit. Not by Karma Prayashchit, not by Jnana Prayashchit, not by Yoga Prayashchit, but by which Prayashchit? Bhakti Prayashchit. The name of that person will be Ajamila. What is the meaning of Ajamila? Aja means not. Ja, born. Aja means the Supreme Lord who is never born. Is known as what? Aja. Aja, Amila, who did not meet, who did not try to attain Supreme Lord. Aja, Amila, together becomes what? Ajamila. I hope you are able to understand. This is the name, the secret behind the name. Another meaning. In the scriptures, Maya is known as Aja. Aja means Maya. So Aja plus Mila, he who met Maya, is known as what?
Ajamila.
These are the two meanings of the term Ajamila. So there are hidden meanings behind the names also in the Bhagavatam. Many hidden things are going on. So this, dear devotees, is the meaning of which term?
Ajamil.
Then he will specify the life history of Ajamil, and then he will specify how Ajamil got his freedom from not only sinful reactions but even the tendency to commit sinful reactions. On the strength of which prayaschit?
Bhakti.
Bhakti prayaschit. And this is what is going to be specified.
Prabhuji, this Ajamila, this is not Supreme Lord who is never born. So,
Not born.
Not met Supreme Lord who is not born.
Good. Supreme Lord is Ajamil
He is Ajamila.
and
Amila.
Amila.
Not met.
Okay. Another meaning of Ajamil is also Aja means the living entity who is never born. Bhagavad Gita says Ajo Nityam Shashvatoyam Purano Nahanyate Hanyamane Sharire. So Aja is also known as what? Living entity. Amila means never realized. So Aja means somebody who never realized his own self. So these are various meanings of which term? Ajamila. So this is Aja is Maya. Right? Aja is also Maya. In the scriptures it is said Ajamekam lohitam. Yes. Shvetashvatar Upanishad. Ajamekam lohita shukla krishnam. Ajam, that unborn potency, contains of three modes. Lohita, red. Red is mode of what? Passion. Shukla, white, is mode of what?
Goodness.
Goodness. Krishnam, black, is mode of what? Ignorance. Ajamekam lohita Krishna shukla. That Aja, that original Aja, unborn potency, Maya, consists of three modes: red, white, and black. So this is Shvetashvatar Upanishad. Here Aja means Maya. So Aja also means Maya. Aja means Bhagwan. Aja also means what? The living entity. So Aja plus Amila, one who did not meet the Lord or one who did not realize himself, is a what? Aja Mila. And Aja plus Mila, one who got stuck with Maya, is known as what? Ajamila. So there are many meanings of the term Ajamila in this Maya. Now, dear devotees, it's very important because the lesson, the life of Ajamil has some very important things for all of us to understand. First and foremost, when we are practicing the path of bhakti, many of us still opt for karma prayaschit, jnana prayaschit, yoga prayaschit, but do not opt for which prayaschit?
Bhakti
Prayaschit. Dear devotees, because when we are trying to overcome anarthas on the path, it's very important to understand that bhakti means you have to also get rid of anarthas. Prabhupada says something in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 23.13 purport. So kindly read Prabhuji loudly what Prabhupada says.
Srila Prabhupada Uvacha, liberation from material contamination is called anartha nivritti, indicating a diminishing of all unwanted things. This is the test of development in devotional service. If one actually develops the devotional attitude, he must be freed from the material contamination of illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. These are the preliminary symptoms. When one is freed from all material contamination, his firm faith in devotional service awakens.
So dear devotees, just because we have to become free of negativities, some people develop incorrect attitudes towards anartha nivritti, getting rid of negativities. What are the negativities in the heart?
Lust, anger, greed.
Lust, anger, greed, etc. So we want to achieve something, nivritti, removal of what?
Anarthas.
Negativities. But instead of anartha nivritti, some people develop incorrect attitudes and start focusing on something else. What is that?
Vairagya.
So vairagya is a different term. Anartha nivritti is a different term. What is the meaning of vairagya?
Detachment.
Renunciation is known as vairagya. Didn't Shukadeva Goswami suggest tapasa, brahmacharyena, shamena, cha, damena, cha, tapasya, brahmacharya, etc.? Was Parikshit Maharaj happy with the solution?
No.
Finally, Shukadeva Goswami says, Kechit kevalaya bhaktya. Some people only by exclusive devotion. So, some people mistake anartha nivritti to be what?
Vairagya.
If I have vairagya, then I will be able to easily conquer my anarthas. That solution, dear devotees, has been already rejected by whom? Parikshit Maharaj. and Shukadeva Goswami in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself. Dear devotees, amongst all the anarthas, the Pradhan Malla, the most powerful wrestler in the arena is Kama. Kama is also known as lust. Kama, the original term Kama refers to creative tendency. The tendency to create something is also known as what? Kama. Originally, the term Kama is mentioned in connection with the Supreme Lord. In the beginning of the universe was empty. So the Shastra says, Saha akamayat, he desired. Eko aham bahusyam, alone I am, let me become many. I hope you are able to understand. Saha akamayat, he desired. So the first Kama in this world is mentioned in connection with the Supreme Lord who manifested all the living entities in the world. There the term Kama does not mean lust. There the term Kama means creative tendency. So creative tendency manifested in the Supreme Lord. Eko aham, alone I am. Bahusyam, let me become many. This is what Kama originally is. Similarly, in this world, creative tendency that is found in the living entities is also referred to as what? Kama. But Kama also specifically means lust. And when it becomes lust, it becomes the all-powerful enemy of the living entity. Many people try to conquer Kama, lust, by various means. Some people think, I will sleep on the floor. Some people think, I will eat less. Some people think, I will chant 16 rounds, so I will chant for Krishna. Additional 16 I will chant so that I will defeat Kama. Some people think like this. Kama Dev laughs on them. Lust personified laughs on them. He says, you think you will defeat me like this? In the Mahabharata there are many Gitas, Bhagavad Gita being the main one. In the Mahabharata there is also Kama Gita, where Kama himself is speaking something. Dear devotees, hear carefully what Kama Dev is speaking. Naham shakyo nupayena
Naham shakyo upayena
Antum bhutena kenachit
Antum bhutena kenachit
Yomam prayatate hantum
Yomam prayatate hantum
Yatva praharane balam
Yatva praharane balam
Tasya tasmin praharane
Tasya tasmin praharane
Pradurbhavamyaham
Puna pradurbhavamyaham.
Prabhu, kindly translation.
I, Kama, cannot be slain by anyone by any existing means. If a person should seek to slay me, putting their trust in the strength of any means, then I appear in that very means and conquer them instead.
So this, dear devotees, is very important. Somebody thinks, I will conquer lust by eating less. Kamadev laughs and says, Acha, you will conquer yourself by eating less? Then, dear devotees, he starts eating less. From today I will eat only once a day. Oh, nice. Then after a few days, his reputation spreads amongst the devotees. You know, I mean, Prabhu eats only once a day. Oh, wow. Prabhu, you are so nice. You eat only how many times? Once. Then it gets into his head. Yeah, I eat only once a day. Then he meets a person from the opposite gender. You know, I eat only once a day, huh? Or a person of the opposite gender comes to them and says, I have heard you eat only once a day, huh? Can you tell me your secret? Yeah, why not? Then the secret is revealed and Kamadev laughs. Really, listen. So, you put your strength in any means. Krishna Naam is supposed to be chanted exclusively for attaining Krishna Prema. Some people chant extra just to defeat Kamadev. Then Kamadev laughs again. Acha. Then they are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. No meeting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Then Kamadev suddenly descends. You saw that Mataji in the Kirtan, she was very nice. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This dear devotees is how calm arises again within the same means that one selects for defeating calm. So this dear devotees is how, this is Kama Gita, very important section. Dear devotees, why does one want to become a Vairagi? Rupa Goswami asks, why does one want to become so detached in the world?
Either he doesn't get mixed up with people or
Sure, wonderful. He doesn't want to mix with people, doesn't want to get attached to material life, isn't it? And what will you do? Abhinav Prabhu, let's say Vairagya arises in you one fine day. I want to get away from people as much as possible. What will you do by getting Vairagya?
So what can I do by trying to practice Vairagya? I mean, I would tell myself that I would be more serious about my Krishna consciousness.
But that you can do by directly engaging in Krishna consciousness. Why do you have to separately cultivate renunciation?
Because I'm convincing myself that by moving away from distractions, then I'll be focused.
Aha. And when you are focused, then what will happen?
And I will start to wander.
When you are focused.
Oh, no. When I'm focused, then I don't know.
Can make progress.
Probably I think with detachment we are trying to escape the problem.
Okay. Okay. This is a step in the correct direction. Anybody else? Yes, you are saying.
No, I was just saying that we feel that not by being in that space, we will be able to my point is mental vairagya is the main thing, not physical vairagya, but we focus on the physical vairagya.
So physical or mental, anywhere. How will it help us?
Right, outside, out of mind.
Reduce distractions.
Anartha negativity, yes.
It's like saying that if I close my eyes, the problem will go away.
Yeah.
Okay, ठीक है. Wonderful. चलो अनर्थ निवृत्ति. You get rid of anarthas. अच्छा, by getting rid of anarthas, what will we do?
Progress in spiritual.
And what progress in spiritual life means what?
Detachment.
Uh-huh.
Like try to relieve the material attachments.
Try to leave the material world of attachment. And dear devotees, let me bring you immediately to the main point. I will free myself of all material attachment. Alright? And then, once I am freed, I will become liberated. I hope you are able to understand. And once I am liberated, I will go back home.
Back to Godhead.
And what will you do after going back to Godhead?
Service.
That's not. That you can do here also.
Enjoy.
Arey wow, somebody spoke the truth. After going back to Godhead, I will do what?
Enjoy.
So, in the end, it was about whose enjoyment?
Selfish.
Mine.
Oh.
Not Krishna's, right?
Wonderful. So, Sri Rupa Goswami defines what is incorrect Vairagya. In Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Prapanchikataya buddhya
Prapanchikataya buddhya
Sambandhi vastuna
Parisambandhi vastuna
Mukshubhe parityago Vairagyam phalgu kathyate
Vairagyam phalgu kathyate.
Prapanchikataya. Prapancha means material world. Prapanchikataya buddhya. This object is material. This object is material. This object is material. Your association is material. Your association is material. Every association is what?
Material.
Hari Sambandhi. You don't see anything in connection to what?
Krishna.
Mumukshubi. Because you are mumukshu. What is the meaning of mumukshu? Somebody who wants to attain. Desiring liberation. Very quickly I want to go back home, back to Godhead. This detachment for fatafat, going back home, back to Godhead, is known as Vairagya. Which type of Vairagya? Phalgu Vairagya. Dear devotees, in the state of Bihar in India, there is a river named Phalgu which flows near Gaya. This river is upside down river. Usually all rivers have sand on the bottom, water on top. This river has water at bottom, sand on top. If you dig it within the river, you will find water flowing underneath. It's a subterranean river known as Phalgu. So this person shows externally, I am very detached, I don't want to speak to materialistic people, I don't want to do this, I will sleep on the floor, I will eat only once a day. You will see the sand of detachment on the surface, dig deep within, and you will come to know that he wants to get liberated, and after liberation he wants to
Enjoy.
So deep down within there are waters of enjoyment flowing. This vairagya is known as which vairagya?
Phalgu
vairagya. So this is the translation. Prabhu, kindly read.
The complete rejection of all objects related to Hari by those desiring liberation in the spirit of considering such objects to be materialistic is known as Phalgu Vairagya.
So this dear devotee is Phalgu Vairagya. Very quickly I want to get liberated. But what will you do there? That I will see later. That me and Krishna will figure it out. First I should get liberated. So dear devotees, in this regard there is a very nice instruction given to us by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he is the guru of Srila Prabhupada, and he wrote a very beautiful commentary on a particular pastime, which is the killing of Vatsasur. Now Vatsasur is one of the demons who appears before Krishna in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The pastime is described in only 4 verses. In the 4 verses it is described that Kamsa sends a demon. What is the name of the demon?
Vatsasura.
Vatsa. What is the meaning of Vatsa? Calf. Vatsa also means boy. Vatsa Rupi Asur. This demon came in the form of what? A calf. Is known as Vatsasur. Or Vatseshu Asuraha. This demon hid between the boys. Therefore it is also known as what? Vatsasur. Both meanings are there. So Vatsa Asur, main meaning is he came as a calf. He came as a calf and suddenly mixed with the calves of the cowherd boys Krishna and Balram. Nobody could identify this demon. Only one person identified the demon. Who was that person? Krishna. Krishna identified, and then he said, oh, he said to Balram, did you see what a nice calf it is? And he indicated to Balram, what a nice calf this is. Have you seen? So Balram got the indication that this particular calf is not from our herd, it's a demon. Then Krishna went to the calf and went, wow, nice calf, And then on the pretext of coming near it, Krishna caught the 2 hind legs of the calf and swung it around. After swinging it around many times, by the time Krishna swinging it around, the calf lost its life and Krishna threw it on a kapitha tree. Kapitha is also in Hindi known as kait. Kait ka phal. In English it is known as wood apple. Alright, what is it known as?
Wood apple.
So, wood apple is the English name. It was thrown on the kapitha tree, wood apple. All the kapithas fell down. The demon came back to its original form. The Devata showered flowers. End of story. Right? This is what happened. So this, dear devotees, is the pastime of killing whom?
Vatsasura.
Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur starts giving a purport to the killing of Vatsasur. He says that Vatsa refers to 2 things. One is a calf, one is also a boy. So Vatsa Asur, all asuras, all demons represent some anartha within the heart. Vatsasur represents the tendency for kama or lust. Now these are the original words of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Please pay close attention. The neophyte is extremely susceptible to such evils. The neophyte is susceptible to which demon, dear devotees? Vatsasur. What does Vatsasur represent within the heart? Kama. They cannot be gotten rid of except by the mercy of Krishna. People who are thinking, no, I will find calm and I will hunt him down. Amongst all the calves, Vatsasur entered. Who was able to find out where the demon is? Krishna. Nobody else could find out. So these demons will only be identified and healed by whose mercy?
Krishna.
Krishna's mercy. Dear devotees. Now, dear devotees, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is most strict in his own behavior and perfect brahmachari, but his brahmacharya is of a different caliber and different thought process than what most of us think. His brahmacharya is not born out of vairagya, renunciation. He explains further. The scriptures say that it is not in the power of man to ensure the immunity of boys and girls from sensuousness except by the means of service to Krishna. The scriptures say that when boys and girls grow up, they naturally become attached to each other, and you can't prevent this attachment except by what?
Service to
Service to
Krishna.
Krishna. Not by sleeping on the floor, not by eating once a day. Alright? This is declared to be the only effective and natural method. He is indicating in the last sentence something. There is only one effective and natural method. And what is that effective and natural
Service to
method?
Krishna.
Service to Krishna. And what? Genuine service with attachment, with the feeling of Krishna is mine, not just mechanical service. So genuine feeling with attachment. This is the only method. He is indicating that all other methods are ineffective and unnatural. In the last sentence, he is indirectly indicating that other methods are either ineffective or unnatural. Dear devotees, then he continues and he says something. Why do people want to become vairagis? Then he starts digging the surface. So he says something. Now the English is archaic English from it's very difficult English, but I'll try to make it easy. The puritanic ideal of Godhead. You know what is puritanic? Some people think unless you are fully pure materially, you can't approach Bhagwan. I hope you are able to understand. This is which ideal? Puritanic ideal of Godhead. Is a conception which owes its origins to persons who are elderly, although honestly enough anxious to establish kingdom of God on earth. He is referring to the Christian church because in Christian church adultery is one of the cardinal sins in Christianity. So in Christianity, unless you are pure, you cannot approach God. So pure means you should be free from lust. Otherwise, you will not be able to approach God. And in Christianity, once you become free of lust and once you follow the path of Christianity and you believe in Jesus Christ as your only Lord and Savior, and then what happens after you become a good Christian? Anybody knows?
Heaven versus hell.
Heaven. And what do you do in heaven?
Enjoy.
So he says, but if you scratch the thin coating on the surface of their sage and sober scheme, you only detect the rotten arrangement for securing the maximum sense enjoyment. I hope you are able to understand. So this is what he said. Actually, this vairagya, right now you suffer.
But later
you will
Enjoy.
I hope you are able to understand. Right now you suffer. Right now you become renounced. So later you will enjoy. Acha. Then he says something. Dear devotees, please see carefully. The spurious brahmacharya ideal. What is the meaning of spurious? Does anybody know?
Mystery.
Name.
sudden-
Spurious.
Suspicious.
No. Spurious means fake, jali, nakli. Alright, counterfeit is known as what? Spurious. The spurious brahmacharya ideal. In this world, there is a fake version of brahmacharya going around. That right now you suffer as much as possible. In the next life you will enjoy. As misconceived by its worldly supporters, embodies this puritanic outlook. So first you become pure, then you approach Bhagwan. First you become pure, then you approach Bhagwan. Otherwise you cannot approach Bhagwan. This puritanic ideal is purely man-made and is for securing maximum of personal selfish sense enjoyment in the afterlife. Dear devotees, scratch the coating on the surface, you will find Phalgu Vairagya river running right underneath. That's what Rupa Goswami was saying. Dear devotees.
But Prabhu, can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
So it's like we say that doing bhakti, being with Krishna, will purify of our sins. That's the process.
Yeah.
So this means we're saying you come to the hospital when you are healthy. when you've become very healthy,
Ah,
then you come to the hospital.
right. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Right.
You go when you're unwell.
Sure.
So
100%.
bhakti will purify us. How can we be purified before?
But bhakti and vairagya are two different things. What is bhakti? Sleeping on the floor?
No.
Eating once a day?
Love for Krishna.
Okay. Huh?
Devotion.
Pure devotional service. What are the activities to be performed in bhakti? Eating once a day? Chandrayana Vrat? Then what activities are supposed to be performed in bhakti? Smaranam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. That is bhakti. But who confused bhakti with vairagya? Somebody who came with the impressions of Ashtanga Yoga. I hope you are able to understand. Somebody who came on the path with the impressions of which yoga? Ashtanga Yoga. Dear devotees, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says we don't have to artificially become a brahmachari. The scriptures enjoin that everyone should serve Godhead from the womb. He is saying that actually all of us were brahmacharis right within the womb of our mother. What is the Sanskrit definition of brahmachari? Please repeat after me. Brahma, charati, iti brahmachari. Brahma charati, one who fully dwells in Brahma, the supreme absolute truth, always is known as what? Brahmachari. In the womb of the mother, the living entity is dwelling upon someone. Who is the living entity dwelling upon? Supreme Lord. It is described in the third canto of the Bhagavatam that within the womb, the living entity was thinking about the Supreme Lord. Right within the womb, we were already what?
Brahmachari.
We didn't have to acquire brahmacharya externally. This is the real meaning. But when we came out into the world, in the first few years also, nothing, we didn't find any lust. When we became Vatsa, adolescent, Vatsasur entered in our hearts. I hope you are able to understand. Okay, when we became Vatsa, adolescent, who entered our hearts? Vatsasur entered into our hearts. Now it is somebody's responsibility to catch him and kill him. Whose responsibility it is? Krishna's. Our responsibility is only to stand with Krishna, not to try and find our own means of killing Vatsasur. The ascetic, somebody who just engages in vairagya, devoid of bhakti, dreams of obtaining mastery over nature by method of controlling his senses. And there is no reference or connection to service of Godhead or any spiritual issue. Nothing related to Krishna. I will become perfect. I will become detached. I will overcome Maya. I will be the first one to go back home, back to Godhead. This, dear devotees, is the dream of the ascetic who wants to attain perfection over Maya. There is no connection to Krishna in all of this. Dear devotees, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur then says, this is the final paragraph. We have had many occasions to explain that the spiritual is transcendental. Bhagwan is not within the grips of Maya. No material arrangement, no material effort will bring us closer to Bhagwan. No mundane consideration can form any part of spiritual training or conduct. Sleeping on the floor, mundane or transcendental? What is it? Mundane. Eating once a day, mundane or transcendental? Mundane. It cannot be a part of any spiritual training or conduct. Please repeat this sentence after me. It is not.
It is not
a spiritual affair.
A spiritual affair.
To be even able to control.
Control.
One's carnal desire. There is nothing spiritual about controlling your senses. Unless there is service of Krishna involved, dear devotees. I hope you are able to understand. There is nothing spiritual about controlling the senses. Finally, Mahavakya. Please repeat. Such self-control. Itself is indeed automatically produced. By the awakening of the soul. When Krishna brain will arise, dear devotees, all the negativities will be washed out. Niharam iva bhaskara. Just as when the sun arises, the darkness is thoroughly washed out. This, dear devotees, is the Bhakti Yoga Prayaschitta. Bhakti Prayaschitta. Not Karma Prayaschitta, not Gyan Prayaschitta, not Yoga Prayaschitta, but which Prayaschitta? Bhakti Prayaschitta. This, dear devotees, is how we are supposed to get rid of Vatsasur within the heart. In all aspects of Bhakti, we should have only bhakti and no elements of other yogas. One time a person came, I heard a person give a talk and he was saying, while chanting japa we should sit in Padmasana, one straight Padmasana and for all 16 rounds. Why? Because sitting in Padmasana helps you focus your mind. Acha, okay, and then by this you will not fall asleep. Okay, and then you will be able to focus on Krishna Nama. Acha. Dear devotees, there is no reference to love of Krishna in attachment to Krishna in all of this. Then I asked the person one question. Why Padmasana? Why not Shirshasana? You know what is Shirshasana? Huh? Head down, feet up. That is Shirshasana. Why sit in Padmasana? Why not in Shirshasana? I guarantee you, you will not fall asleep. My personal guarantee I am telling you, you will not fall asleep on Shirshasana. Isn't it correct? Huh? So perform Shirshasana and take your bit right and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And 16 rounds, I guarantee you, your mind will not wander here and there. But it is not a spiritual affair to be able to control your mind. It is purely mundane consideration. Spiritual affair begins when one personality is introduced in the picture. Who is that?
Krishna.
And genuine attachment to Krishna is what spiritual life is about. No mundane training or consideration is part of this. Therefore, dear devotees, whenever you see elements of Ashtanga Yoga being presented as Bhakti Yoga, be very careful to distinguish between these two. Bhakti Yoga is defined in the scriptures of Bhakti Yoga. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Nivedanam. See the 64 limbs of Bhakti given in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, nectar of devotion. You will not find sleeping on the floor. You will not find renunciation. You will not find brahmacharya. You will not find sannyas. You will not find any ascetic practices within the 64 limbs of Bhakti. And Sri Rupa Goswami gets to decide what is Bhakti and what is not Bhakti. This, dear devotees, is the Mahavakya, the great conclusion as derived from the process of Bhakti Yoga. Alright? Thank you very much. Okay. So now we have some time for Q&A. So first you, then I'll come to you, Mataji. Yes,
Prabhu, like, if you see this brahmacharya from the other point of view, for example, like, we are full of ignorance, like the people who are like, till now, like we are full of ignorance. So most of these sadhus here, in ISKCON also, they recommend like to bring up that practice in you, to bring you towards the Krishna consciousness. Some niyam can help. For example, if you're sleeping on the floor, you can wake up early in the morning. And like if you eat less, you can have a like proper focus. Like if you eat full, like you cannot focus on anything. So why don't we see in this way? Like
what happens is a person starts with good intentions. I will wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Why?
to do japa, finish japa.
Why?
Go back to
Early in the morning. I mean like here the practice is only to be in Krishna service. Like that's what like we taught by gurus.
Not only mechanical service. Which type of service?
transcendental.
Loving service with attachment is the goal of Bhakti Yoga. Huh? Ananya Cheta. Loving service with attachment. Because if it turns into a mechanical process, very soon it will water down into only Ashtanga Yoga will remain, Bhakti Yoga will go out of the door. After a few years, he may practice for 1 year like this. After 1 year, then the mind will say, now you should wake up at 3 o'clock. Why? Because waking up at 3 o'clock is very essential. Why? Because it leads to happiness of Krishna. Waking up at 3 o'clock is not happiness of Krishna. Kamsa also woke up at 3 o'clock when the 8th child was born. When the 8th child was born, Kamsa woke up at 3 o'clock. Does it mean Kamsa pleased Krishna? No. Anukulyana Krishna Mashilanam. Favorability towards Krishna, inclination towards Krishna. And if at 3 o'clock I am waking up and Inhuman time of waking up. Krishna, why did you make this process like this? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So this is anukul or pratikul?
Pratikul.
Favorable or unfavorable?
Unfavorable.
Unfavorability will lead you to then the mind will think, no, actually by austerity Krishna is pleased. Krishna is not pleased by austerity. Krishna is pleased by that
Love,
attachment and love. So all the practices, as long as they are leading to one thing, they are leading to what thing? Attachment to Krishna. They are good. They are good. Mataji,
You can go ahead.
So no, my question was in what he said. But Prabhu, if we think like that, for example, and then you become so relaxed that you're not prioritizing this. Say for example, if one has a discipline that you have to wake up early, okay, and because of that you control your day, you sleep on time, you wake up on time, and it's a discipline that you try and inculcate. But if we say that there's nothing that will happen because of doing that, you're doing it for love of Krishna, you're doing it because you want to wake up, you want to prioritize your sadhana, Brahm Muhurat, all that logic that you think. But if you don't do that and you become pramad, you become lazy, I'll wake up late, I to love Krishna, I to love him, he's my person, I'm fine with it, mujhe subah kyun uthna hai? Then wouldn't that be counterintuitive, counteractive, because we're not that wise right now?
Therefore, we are supposed to become wiser. Initially, mechanical regulation may work. Later, one has to wake up not by mechanical regulation. Why do we wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning? That's all yogic consideration.
Because you want to prioritize Krishna first thing in the day before I start with other things.
In the spiritual world, this is the time when Krishna wakes up.
Yep.
What time does Krishna wake up? Brahma
Oh,
Muhurat.
that's important.
Brahma
In the spiritual world, this is the time when Krishna wakes up. The devotee who knows the essence, knows that now I am going to wake up with whom?
Krishna.
Now Krishna has woken up. Now I should also wake up. Because I wish to love Krishna. Then I will take a bath remembering whom?
Krishna.
Then I will come to the temple and I will see in front of me somebody is ready. Who is ready?
Krishna.
And then I will sing for his pleasure. If you go to Vrindavan,
Shesha Alokha Pravesha
Nitrachari Urto Jiva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hare Griva.
This is, then you see Krishna is singing about Shri Krishna. Then dear devotees, it's 7, 8 o'clock. It's time for Krishna's first food. So somebody is preparing food. And then they sing the arti for Krishna accepting food. At 12 o'clock is the main bhoga arti. So all of this is connected to Ashtanga Yoga or Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga.
Our cycle is not decided by Ashtanga Yoga. Our cycle is decided by how Krishna lives his life. That is why we are supposed, when we are at home, in a normal position, we are in the comfort of our home. Our clock is supposed to align with whose clock? Krishna's clock. That is Bhakti Yoga.
How do we know Krishna's clock better?
Of course, the acharyas gave this.
Where particularly, bro? What
That
can
the Guru has to tell you. So everything cannot be written. Everything will not be written. But I will tell you, there are literatures in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya where the entire clock of Krishna is given. 24 hours of what Krishna is doing at a particular point of time is mentioned. The Guru teaches the disciple, you wake up right now. For whose pleasure?
Krishna.
Not because it is yogic practice or Brahma Muhurat, it is best to chant your rounds in the early morning so that you will quickly go back home. No, that is not the intention. The intention is that we are supposed to wake up with whom?
Krishna.
Let Krishna know that you are seriously interested in him, not in the Brahma Muhurta. Brahma Muhurta is secondary. If Krishna wakes up in Brahma Muhurta, therefore we wake up in Brahma Muhurta. Otherwise, we have no specific attachment to Brahma Muhurta. Alright, so this, dear devotees, is very important to understand. Okay, Mataji, you had something?
Yeah, Prabhu, when I read, we were reading the main Bhagavatam shloka, I forget, 6, 11, 5, 6, 11, yeah, same diff. That, not same diff, sorry. Yeah, but that one, like what, I felt that the Shastras are so karunamai, right? There is a remedy for mudhas, that okay, you do your fasting. There is also a remedy for people who want to do bhakti yoga. So karunamai, the Shastras are, nobody is judging nobody. At best, they are calling you an ass, that's it. But in real life, whether it is at work or at home, right? Not judging any mudha and just being entertained by the murkhta, whether it is at office or at home. How do you become, I guess, more tolerant would be the word, or more, not even tolerant, because that is also saying that, look at me, I'm such a shan patti, I'm tolerating you. More like, it's entertaining. Like, how do you get to that stage? Because the Shastras are clearly, they have that compassion, where...
So, the question is, when you see other people on lower level of adhikar, how do you?
Yeah, at work or at home. Because you can't control their actions, you can only control how you view the situation or respond to it.
Sure, Sri Krishna says in the Gita, Na buddhi bhedam janayed ajnanam karma sanginam joshayed sarva karmani vidvan yuktah samacharan. Na buddhi bhedam janayed. In Hindi we say दूसरों की बुद्धि नहीं भेदना. Don't try to split the intelligence of others by showing your superiority of bhakti yoga. If they are naturally inclined, then they will come, or we can induce them once or twice. Can you please consider this practice of bhakti yoga, or give them a book of Srila Prabhupada. And then if they are still not inclined, na buddhi bhedam janayed, don't split their intelligence. Because it is one of the 10 offenses to instruct a faithless person about the glories of Bhagavan and bhakti. Right, so once or twice you try. If not, you will leave them.
Yeah, that is for Krishna consciousness, but other situations in like secular situations, you know for a fact that what that person is saying is materially, facially is incorrect. And you have to put up with that DS because you're at work and that person is probably, there is a hierarchical situation.
So what do you do in that situation?
Yeah.
So Narad Muni gives the solution to that in Srimad Bhagavatam. Narad Muni says something. Gyataya pitarau putra Ghatara suhrido pare Yadvadati yadichanti Chanumodeta nirmamaha Bhagavatam 7th canto 14th chapter, it's verse number 6. Narad Muni says, when some people come with extreme opinions in front of you or give their views which you think are nonsense, you should neither say yes nor say no. There is something between yes and no called as okay. Alright? This is the translation. Mataji, kindly read the translation.
An intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. If there are suggestions from his friends, children, parents, brothers or anyone else, he should externally agree, saying yes, that is all right, but internally he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled.
People will come to you with extreme opinions. So I was in the US this year, there is elections. So somebody will come with this time you should vote Prabhuji for Democratic Party. If Prabhuji is intelligent, he will neither say yes nor say no. If you say yes or no, if you say yes, yes I do. Okay Prabhuji, I have created a WhatsApp group. If you say no, Prabhuji,
You should.
what is wrong with you? The correct answer is neither yes man nor no man. Which man do you have to become?
Okay, man.
So then, Prabhuji, come up with a strong opinion to me. Chalo, give a strong opinion for anything.
I can't. Please help.
You try. Come with a strong opinion to me of any field of life.
You should only buy German cars.
Okay, I'll And then you do what you want to do. Alright? This, your devotees is known as which man?
Okay man.
Neither yes nor no. Dear devotees, the Indians perfected this art, they don't do this, they don't do this. What do the Indians do? You do what you want to do. Okay? So I think this is how
Thank
we
you,
will
thank
do
you,
it.
Prabhu. Yes,
Okay?
thank you.
चलो टाइम लिमिट what is I don't know. चलेगा? हाँ चलो चलो
Prabhu,
चलो.
this brahmachari, can you give the literal how you split the word?
Brahma charati iti brahmachari.
So one who's fixed in Brahman.
A means completely, charati dwells in what? Brahma, the absolute truth. Known as what? Brahmachari.
Chari.
Yes.
So how does one get rid of the impressions from Ashtanga Yoga?
By learning Bhakti Yoga directly from the texts of Bhakti Yoga and not getting into somebody's interpretation of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is defined in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. In Nectar of Devotion, Gyan and Vairagya. Gyan refers to which Gyan? Brahma Gyan. Vairagya, renunciation, are not included in the 64 limbs of Bhakti. Rupa Goswami's verse in Padyavali, if you follow, कांशायन च भोजनादिनियवान्नो वावने वासतो व्याख्यानादत वामुनि व्रतपराच्चितोद्भव क्षीयते किन्तु स्फीतकलिङ्ग शैलतनया तीरेषु विक्रीडतो गोविन्दस्य पदारविन्द भजनारम्भस्य लेशादपि. Kindly read the translation. Rupa Goswami's verse in the Padyavali. Please read.
Not by wearing saffron cloth, nor by restricting food and other sense activities, not by living in the forest, not by discussing philosophy, and not by observing a vow of silence, but only by even the slightest beginning of devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Govinda, who enjoys pastimes on the Yamuna's wide banks, is when my day was stopped.
This is Rupa Goswami. Classic, 100% pure, 24 karat gold. Without mixture of any Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, so this is Padyavali, verse number 11. Follow Rupa Goswami, you will never go wrong. Personal guarantee. Follow Rupa Goswami, you will never go wrong. Yes.
Now, Prabhu, this time, I've asked this question only once in another discourse, and the ultimate answer that it distilled down was to, why do you care? You're here finally in the world. But my question was, no, it's a simple question. No, my question was like, I had asked that, why am I here? Did I just one fine day, I was like, maybe making garlands for Krishna and went like, I'm so bored, I want to be God, let me just go to the earth. So they gave me like they quoted a series of texts, and then the ultimate conclusion was, why do you care? You're here now, just love Krishna and go on with your life.
So you want to know why we are here?
I mean, I'm just scared that I hope there wasn't a time where I went like, I was in Golok Dham, I was having a gala time, and then I said, this is all BS, I just want to go and have fun on earth, I'm getting bored making these flower galas and I'll buy Krishna and I want to be God myself.
Okay. So this particular question, amongst all the questions, this particular question is such that the devotees fought so much over this question.
Yeah, that was the problem, because it was supposed to be a 2-minute question with a 2-minute answer, and then it went into this long.
The devotees fought over this question so much that it led to a resolution in the GBC in 1995. It went to the GBC in 1995 and it led to a resolution. So I don't want to, because I'm speaking in an institution. If I would be speaking outside an institution, I would tell you exactly, but I'm speaking in an institution, and the institution has unfortunately mandated a Siddhanta, which therefore I will tell you something. Srila Prabhupada has spoken both things. One thing that we were with Krishna, and one fine day we decided to become envious, and we
That is my biggest fear, that did that.
Alright. And Prabhupada also said on other occasions that nobody ever falls from the spiritual world. Right? So both Prabhupada said, but in order order to pacify the situation, the Siddhanta was made, the resolution favored only one side, which says that no, you have to take sides with you fell from the spiritual world. Why? Because you were envious.
That's anartha.
Huh?
That's an anartha, right?
Ah. But how did you become envious in the spiritual world?
You're pure.
Right.
Yes.
Ah. So, the previous acharyas say that Namasaryadayo dosha
Namasaryadayo dosha
Santikasyapi teshu hi
Santikasyapi teshu hi
Guna swabhavika bhanti
Guna swabhavika bhanti
Nitya satya sahasrasha
Nitya satya sahasrasha.
In the spiritual world, Sanatana Goswami in Brihad Bhagavatamrita 2:445 describes, please read.
The superficial.
Translation.
Absent among them are faults like envy.
In the residents of the spiritual world, some fault is absent. Which fault is absent?
Envy.
So that is already spoken by the previous acharyas. There is no fault of envy in the residents of the spiritual world. So both things Prabhupada specified. But devotees ended up taking sides with one and did not pay attention to the other side. Therefore, devotees fight over this issue, and therefore there was a need for a resolution, and therefore I will give you only a hint.
Thank you. Yes, that is much better than the previous because they just went on and it got elongated into.
There is no point of going on and on. The previous acharya is very clear about the matter. In the spiritual world, the living entities do not have something towards the Lord. What do they not have?
Envy.
They don't have envy towards Bhagavan. And when they don't have envy towards Bhagavan, you can figure out the rest of the Siddha. Alright, so I'll take one last question.
Prabhuji, how does this tally with the other thing that we have studied, that he was in the body of Mahavishnu and he was creating and he fell from there? So
We don't fall from Mahavishnu. Those who are in the body of Mahavishnu are those who are already in the material world.
So they keep getting recycled.
Of course.
So what if we are the researchers? Yeah, but then we don't envy, right? So how
Did you
do
understand?
figure-
So we were in the spiritual world and we fell from there here.
You can't fall.
Acha, who's recording? Who's
There
recording?
were we.
Please pause the recording.